lawyer and paralegal, you're not impersonating as a government employee. That's yeah.
Or do you guys know if there's any judges around?
No judges at the moment, Liz.
Alright. So, let's see.
Just me on.
Let's see.
I think Harlan might be around very soon, hopefully.
To go for an official complaint against him.
Oh, actually no, maybe he won't be. Because he didn't get off. Went to bed not too long ago.
Alright.
Oh, are you getting your job back, Liz? Are you?
Well, I'm suspended for right now, and I don't know why. I guess because I was in a coma for a couple months.
Oh, wait, so hold on, you're suspended still?
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, right, okay. Fuck, that was so long ago. I didn't think you'd still be... Yeah, right. That's shit.
That is what it is, I guess. That's why I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah, that's true. You can only go forwards.
Yeah,
Nope.
how have you been doing today?
I got shot literally 10 minutes ago.
Sorry to hear it.
Yeah. Two Mexican guys came in. One had a baseball bat. Then he walked like halfway into the courthouse before putting it away. And I might have made a slight little remark saying, they keep their weapons out for long. He came back to me and he said, "What did you say, SA? I'd knock you down in 2 seconds." And I said, "Oh, is that how quickly you knocked me down? Oh, girlfriend must be disappointed." And yeah, he shot me in the gut.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but I didn't say knock me down. I just said, "Is that how quick you are? Girlfriend must be disappointed." And yeah, he shot me in the gut for that. So.
Or why is it? No, that's weird.
I think they came back and took the casings because Ray couldn't find them.
Oh really?
I think they did.
Ma.
See if I
I
can.
don't see any casings there either, so I don't know. I wasn't paying too much attention. I was trying to,
I see a
stop all the
casing.
blood loss. Do you?
I think I do.
Sorry, I wasn't
Oh
paying
no, it's just blood and
attention at
bits.
all. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk on top of you.
Yeah, okay, I can't see a casing actually. No, I thought that was a casing.
See,
but
where
it's
is
not.
it?
It's just
I tried
blood.
changing my stuff, but
What was that, Holly?
I was going to tell him that I'm sorry, I was working on a case in the MDT. I wasn't paying attention when he got shot.
You were watching me bleed out, and you're just like, "Oh, he'll bleed out quick enough. I'll just do this work."
there we go.
No, as soon as I heard the shot, I hurried up and got out of the MDT and tried to call the police.
I appreciate it. It's okay. I was honest. I was kind of honestly expecting to get shot. I just couldn't help myself.
It was a good joke.
It was.
I'll go buy some cans of soda.
Getting shot to say a good joke? Fuck yeah, that's the whole point of living.
That's like when I got fired from Sam's for giving sass to Tiffany.
Oh yeah, Tiffany don't like sass.
She told me to strip down topless and pantsless and go clean a room on my hands and knees while we had 5 people on the treatment floor and those 15 people outside that she was talking to. As I was bringing people in, I told her, "No, I actually have a job unlike you." And just walked off and carried on doing my job.
Ooh.
She didn't like that.
Yeah, I think she wouldn't. Damn.
I
And
missed
then a week
something
later, they
juicy,
were doing a Sam's roast. Where you only gave roast to fucking... My favorite one from that is, normally people wear protective vests to protect their organs. You guys wear them to protect your implants.
Yeah, that's true.
Ouch! Damn.
That is going. It's
Cold, heartless machines.
They make brat stoves look more realistic.
Oof.
Hmm. Hmm.
Dawn, you okay?
No, I saw this girl. She looked so cute, and then she just disappeared, and then I wanted to talk to her.
Who?
It was me.
She looked like a little Malibu cowgirl Barbie.
Malibu
It was me.
cowgirl.
It was me in
Barbie.
disguise.
She was wearing orange and pink in a cowgirl outfit.
Is that what you changed into at the hospital when you had to get rid of all the shirts with bullet holes in them?
Yeah, I had to go into disguise. I was afraid I was going to get shot again. Police were like, here's your new disguise.
Going into witness protection. Away from
Hell
the,
yeah.
Two, what did I say, Spanish guys?
It was Spanish, yeah. Mexican Spanish, yeah. Spanish.
They had Vatos accents or Marabuntas accents.
On the old Holmes.
Yeah, he called him fool a couple times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fool.
Hey, fool, you're going to get shot, fool. You keep that up here.
Okay, that's just going a little Canadian at the end there.
Yeah, that was Canadian.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You gotta get shot here.
you're going to get shot here. Don't,
That's hard here.
I'm not going to shoot you too badly, Leo. Oh, no, that's going back into the Scottish and Irish.
Crikey.
Crikey, I say.
Crikey, I say.
I can't even
you
do
just
my
walk up
own
to him, just-
accent.
Just fucking. Oh,
I'm not
my,
sure
What
what-
the fuck are you talking about?
Mate, what are you talking about? Don't even be like that, eh?
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
you, mate.
Jimmy-
How about we
Jimmy the
fucking
Cribs
go down
out
to
on.
the fucking bar and go have a VB.
Hey, let's get a good old Scottish. Oh, fuck, I can't even say that now. My accents are going through the roof.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Get me some Scottish
Some haggis.
What's the haggis?
Aye, I love a little bit of Scottish haggis. You can what I mean. You can what I mean.
I'm getting what you need.
Aye.
You slur at the end and then you just sound a little more Irish.
Just
Okay, that's coming to fucking Herbert.
I'm struggling quite a bit today.
I can't do Herbert. Herbert's got that whistle. Want a popsicle?
Popsicle? Ooh, I got one in my place.
Yeah, I can't do Herbert.
Herbert and Consuelo are very close.
No.
I'm just an old man. You can't say that to me, young sweet whippersnapper. Jeez,
That was bad.
Why
It's like stereotypical. What a
That's
person
the
thinks an
whole
old
point.
person sounds like.
Well, no,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
it
the whole
didn't
point.
sound like Herbert at all.
Oh no, I wasn't trying to sound like Herbert.
Okay.
No, I was just doing the old,
Hey, honey.
oh,
Okay, you guys have a
hey,
good day.
honey.
Have a good one.
You too, mate. Take care.
Yeah, I don't do impressions because I suck at them. I can't even do an impression of myself.
Yeah, so this is practically myself, like just sort of normal. And then I have like Jeremy Freeman. He's, oh jeez, what? Oh no, don't point your gun at me. Oh jeez. That's Jeremy Freeman.
So I am terribly monotone, and I have spent so many years not using my accent that I've forgotten how to use it unless I'm talking to somebody with my accent.
I'll tell you what, I've done the same thing. I can't even do it properly myself anymore, but it takes a lot of training. Like a lot of training. It's so hard. I will never be as good as I used to be. I could actually do voices so well, but now, not.
There are still bits and pieces of my accent that leak through sometimes, but I've spent more than half my life at this point trying to not use my accent.
Oh, really?
Yep, I had a very, very heavy accent.
That's pretty impressive. When I was actually, like, I was raised in AU, but when I was younger, I had a very, deep, Scottish accent, even though, like, I've never even lived in Scotland.
That is expired as well.
But eventually I just grew out of it.
Can you guess where I'm from?
I'm going to say definitely American.
Yep.
Definitely not Mississippi.
Yeah, let's go back to the hotel, man.
Not California.
I'm glad that tonight was a good night, man.
Absolutely.
I would put you closer to New York, maybe.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I wouldn't say New York, but I'd say pretty close to New York. Yeah, that's about as good as I'm going to guess.
I'm actually from Boston.
Yeah,
You're pretty good.
I have a very deep Boston accent that only comes out if I talk to people with Boston accents or I'm drunk.
Yeah.
My R's, they go bye-bye.
They go, bye-bye.
I'm often told that I have an accent, but usually people can't place it.
I'll be honest, I thought for the longest time I thought Liz was like European and that he just like didn't have an accent.
I'm gonna put so I'm definitely not gonna say New York for Liz. California, no. You sound near California? How far am I off?
You're pretty close actually. At least for Liz.
Yeah,
He's supposed to
there
be.
we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Where was he from
Portland.
again? Fuck, I wrote it down.
Did I nail it or am I farther off?
Sorry, what was it? Or what'd you say?
Portland.
No. It's
No.
Nope.
San Diego.
Oh, it's not in California. California. This man was
Okay.
pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, I just the
Let's see, what did I write down for
accent,
him?
like your tone of voice is just, it sounds like around the California regional area, but not in California. It's very very unique. And same with your accent as well, like the way you talk and your monotone. That's
I might
how
I think I overpronounced my R's because I just
Yeah.
try so hard to use them.
Yeah, that's the
What was
only
it?
reason I
The
was,
state
I'm able
above
to guess like that.
California? I forget the name of it.
I've
US map.
played way too many
That's where he's from.
role-play games and been around Americans.
I mean, that's why I lost my accent. I was playing like PlayStation 2 video games.
Oregon,
as a
that's what it was,
teenager
Oregon.
and online, and somebody made fun of my accent once, and ever since I've been trying to get rid of it. And I actually kind of like my accent.
Yeah, oh, mate, don't get rid of it. That's what makes you unique.
I don't think it's something to be ashamed of, yeah.
No,
I mean, I
it shouldn't.
started getting rid of it because I thought it made me sound like an idiot, and then by the time I realized that I kind of liked it, it was already too far gone.
Dude, how do you think Australians get treated? Oh, crikey, mate! Like, I'm gonna put a shrimp on the barbie. You know, come on. We get hit hard.
I've actually like had conversations with my father while talking to somebody on the internet, and they were astounded by how little I sounded like myself because they were like, "Oh my god, I could barely understand you."
Yeah, well, that's yeah.
And like, so I'm from Boston. The person who said that was from Rhode Island, so they have like a New England accent.
Oh,
And they
well,
said,
yeah, okay.
they said they couldn't understand me. That's how like deep my accent was.
Hey there, son. I got a job for you. Been a long time coming.
Actually, occasionally I want to like not prank call, but like pick up the lawyer line and just have my full accent on blast and just see what happens. But I don't think I can.
Where's that? Or they can't use your accent?
I think physically I can't.
It's hard when you're in a persona, especially like you naturally feel comfortable. It takes a lot to like swap. Especially back to your regular voice when you're so used to doing, you know, another voice.
Yeah, like when I flew back home, like if I walked to the store or something, it was full on accent, easy peasy. But as soon as I flew back here, I don't know, I lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, see, like I struggle sometimes. I've actually got to like, you know, speak a couple of words before I can really pick into it. But then even when I'm like normally speaking in a different accent, the old one will slip back through, like the one I usually normally play, like use. It'll just start to slip back through no matter what. It's so frustrating.
I mean, I think that's unique in its own way. It's not a bad thing.
Oh yeah. Howdy folks, this is William Harris, District Attorney. I'm here to represent my fellow colleagues.
That's decent. That is pretty decent.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
What's crazy is whenever I'm in the city and hear somebody using an accent where I'm from, it either sounds like it's completely fake and made up, or it sounds like they're leaning too heavily into it and it's kind of natural, but they're leaning too heavily into it. So I can't like respond with my accent.
I think my problem is I lean too heavily into it.
I mean, I'm a dumb
Because
American.
what you're saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm just,
you're not dumb.
Well, no, I'm just a dumb American. When it comes to accents, like I can't pick out the differences between them. All Aussies kind of sound the same. All British kind of sound the same. Like I just can't pick them apart.
When I was really really young, I could not tell the difference between like, you know, British, American, you name it. I could not hear accents until I was older, and I was like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm actually starting to pick it up. I'm starting to hear like the slurs, the S's, the T's, the R's. When I was younger, yeah, I could not tell the difference. But even now, some Americans I talk to, because I'm so used to talking to Americans, I'll just be like, oh yeah, no, that's a normal accent. That's like, you know, an everyday accent. I know. Then I go, oh, hold on, wait. If I actually listen, if I really really listen, I can tell. Oh, that's yeah, he's from America, or he's from, you know, Ireland, or he's from Scotland, or he's from.
It's funny when he said the Scotland.
Yeah, I can pick out American accent, like, because it sounds natural to me, and sometimes I can pick out regional dialects depending on how, you know, over the top they are. Like I can pick out Boston.
The fake made-up accent of 2 times speed videos.
When it comes to like European, like, I don't know, it's all European to me.
Ah, mate, don't blow yourself up about it.
I think I've gotten a little bit better
I have an unusual question.
What's that?
I have an unusual answer.
Okay, the stuff I just typed up in the MTT, is there a way to print it off I could serve it to 2 people?
Not really. You could copy and paste.
I tried
Onto
that.
like
It's
a-
not working.
Oh.
If you buy a piece of paper from Larry over there, you can't like just transcribe it over.
I really don't know how. I have paper on me. I don't know how to get it from the MDT onto the paper.
So Control C on the MDT will work, and then if you attach your special phone device to the piece of paper, you can Control V.
I tried that too. It's not working.
For that, you need
My
to.
God, a guy, we got a stickler.
Yeah, I know.
You might need to
Oh,
put it on the paper for a second, and then pick it back up. That's
What do you mean, drop it on the floor and then pick it back up? What?
or no, just take another look at it. There's a weird bug where sometimes it doesn't work for.
Okay.
And you should be able to write just fine on it, right?
I'm trying to copy and paste from the MDT and it's not working.
Oh,
just try to write out regularly. Does that work or no? Because if that doesn't work, it might be an issue with your pen, or maybe the paper itself.
I really don't want to type all that stuff back out again.
Here's my suggestion. I would go to the disc pages. Find somewhere where you can paste it. That's not anywhere that people can see. Maybe your own disc page as well. Just paste it there, then copy and paste it. Copy it again, and then try and put it into the. Because sometimes it won't always copy off the MDTs. So you need to put it into a different program.
Okay, I'll try.
But I'm not going to say that's going to work. Just worth a try though. And don't actually use right click and copy. Don't just press Control C because sometimes that doesn't work either.
Another phone call. Hello.
as we haven't been checking my stuff.
What's on Life Invader?
A bunch of stuff that I haven't responded to forever. Oh.
He's looking for a pickup.
Well, this is old news anyways. Forgot I had that there, that's funny.
I'm gonna let you go now. And you'll probably call with a cell rep. Bye.
And that's not working
So-
either.
It's not working either. Ugh.
When did I ever do this?
Oh! Harlan's here.
Oh, is he? Let me see. Let me try
He is,
calling him.
I am going to. Oh, already.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe try copying it again. Maybe there was an issue with the copying.
Hey, Harlan, are you busy at all, mate?
I tried 3 different times. It just won't work.
Hey, I've got Liz here that wants to see you, and I also need to see a judge about getting my bar reinstated. Liz? Yeah.
It's like, Lis, that's crazy.
Yeah, man, take your time. It's all good.
Alright, well, I'm happy if I
By the way,
I could
Lis,
see.
you still
Yeah,
have-
about doing my bar again. Since I've come back into state, I've just need to redo my bar because the storm, all my information was gone.
Lis, do you still have Projection Law?
Thanks, mate.
I do, yeah.
Re-invite me.
Sure.
My ID is 100149.
149, okay.
Are you hiring lawyers?
Oh, I have a firm, yeah. Let's see.
Really?
So you still got your bar, Liz?
Yeah, I still should have my bar. I mean, it might be suspended at the moment, but yeah.
I thought. Oh, so you didn't lose your bar after the storm?
After the storm, I mean, I've been, I've been in a coma for a couple months, but I was around quite a bit before that.
Yeah, no, I was I was around before the storm too, but I mean, after the storm, I lost my bar. I lost everything.
Or I meant before my coma, so
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, can't
That
you
makes
see
sense.
if he lost his bar?
Should be
Yeah,
suspended on
I'll have a
that.
look.
Well, you're suspended on the roster. I don't know if you lost your bar card.
Yeah, if he's suspended on the roster, it's more than likely that he's.
Why were you suspended anyways?
I'm not sure, but probably it has to do with me being in a coma, is what I'm thinking.
What was his last name, Liz, again?
Bajek. Bajek.
Ha! He still hasn't.
I had a feeling he might. So one of the lawyers who was suspended told me that at some point they started suspending people who hadn't been around for a while, just as a way for
Me.
them to keep track. Like not revoking their
would've been me.
bar card, just suspending them from Saba. And
I
I, think
remember
it
that.
was
Oh.
Law or Low or however Lough who told me that.
I think I was the one who had that. Yeah, I recommended suspending people who hadn't been around for a while, and then they would let people know whenever they came back to unsuspend them.
Well, I mean, it works really well, right? Because obviously they'll sign into duty and not be able to check their MDT and figure out, oh, and then, you know, look at the organization and be like, oh, I'm suspended, huh?
Well, except you can't even see the organization when you're suspended.
Oh, rip.
That should probably change.
Actually, I need to have a talk to Uriel too, because I remember him saying that, you know, DAs are allowed to carry weapons now for self-defense, but do we still have to get a open carry license? That's the question.
Well, open carry is different. That just means that you can have a holster.
Oh, but so what's the what is the point in having a holster and then, you know, just having it shoved down your pants?
So open carry and concealed carry are. It's easier to get a concealed carry than an open carry in a lot of
For
places
some reason.
because people will feel intimidated by seeing a gun out in the wild.
Well, I'm pretty sure you don't need a license for open carry in any state, except for this one. That's
Yeah,
I think where I'm from, open carry is just straight illegal.
is it illegal or illegal
Illegal.
in the United States?
Yeah, Massachusetts has very strict gun laws.
oh yeah.
But the Second Amendment, like, doesn't that guarantee open carry?
It is really hard to get any kind of gun license in Massachusetts.
Yeah, they kind of like bend and weave things to, you know, go around the Second Amendment.
every state is very different when it comes to certain laws. And
I thought they
gun
couldn't
laws
ban
are
it
one of
though.
them.
I mean, they could.
You go to Texas, open carry is like, you know, perfectly. It's frowned upon if you don't open carry.
Just walk into Walmart where you're fucking.
Like, I know you
AK.
need a license for concealed carry,
Yeah.
but not for open.
But that's the thing, you know. If you walk into Walmart with an AK and plan to shoot people, and you see like everyone else with an AK, you're pretty much like, yeah, no, fuck that. I am definitely not coming out of this alive.
So take this with a grain of salt, because this is something I heard from somebody else, but it's a source that I trust. And they said that, like, back, I don't know if it was the 60s, 70s, or 80s.
Yeah, could you be arrested for
they
just having a
actually
gun? I don't
they
think that's the case though,
conducted an
because they're not
experiment where they made
inherently illegal.
it mandatory for citizens in a certain, like, I don't know if it was a town or a city in Texas, to have their gun license, and crime, it didn't just fall, it went to literally zero.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, crime stopped being a thing because everybody had a gun.
Criminal. So that's the thing with criminals is criminals do what they do when they feel like they're in power. If they don't feel like they're in power, they're not going to do something that they know is going to get them killed.
You mean,
That's why, like, yeah. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, you mean if they ran and try to snatch Granny's purse, she's gonna pull out a fucking snub nose from her gun holster on her calf?
Yeah, pull out a big ass Magnum. Big old Glock. A Desert Eagle.
Yeah,
no,
like, I'm in Massachusetts. Well, I'm from Massachusetts, and the
Hey, but
you know, there's a
Good to see you.
pretty high crime rate, but also
Yeah,
it's
power.
very hard to get a gun. So it, you know, criminals will be like, hey, easy targets.
Look, so okay, I live in Australia where guns are meant to be banned completely. There is no such as a complete gun ban. We still have guns getting around everywhere. There is shootings happen all the time. But the only difference is we might have reduced our actual overall shootings a tiny little bit. But our theft, our robbery, our stabbings have gone through the roof. Actually, no, even our shootings have gone up. So that's a lie. Yeah, most
Role-playing?
deaths. What the government
I was role-playing
fails to
yesterday.
actually say to people is they
For a
categorize
few
it
hours.
as gun deaths instead of actually suicidal deaths by guns, homicidal deaths
I
by
figured
guns.
might as well try
The
for
majority of gun deaths were
today.
actual suicide.
or try to try, I should say.
But then when a gun, when the actual restrictions for guns came in, suicides dropped, but homicides increased. So, where people get this idea, you know, like that guns cause more problems than
streaming?
they do help. Yeah, okay.
I mean, if I'm role playing,
Guns are
I want to
scary.
stream it.
That's
And
just a common fact. But at the end of the day, if everyone owns a gun,
I do generally feel more.
everyone's going to be scared to go, you
Comfortable
know, pull
not
it out
streaming?
and try and shoot someone.
Not really. I only took the call because you guys were.
Although I do think streaming necessitates some amount of that.
Conversation of our lives.
Because, you know, why else would you stream, right?
Exactly.
I'll go.
But-
Do you want to come with, or?
I can.
Okay.
I don't
can,
want to
okay.
feel like I have to like cater
can
to
still
people
go, I
watching,
just can't
and
do
I do feel
anything
that. Like
or be
I
on
do
your
feel that
side, I just
sometimes where I'm
watch.
like, oh, there's just silence right now. I
don't
probably should be
think
doing
they
something.
want us going
It's,
with the DA. Well, actually,
so I'm
you
trying to get
can
better about
go
that.
and watch on the side of the police. Yeah, let's
I would
clown
be
car.
watching on the side of the. I would be watching on the side of the police. Yeah, I can't be with
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. Liz, you want to come?
Technically, I can't because I'm still paralegal. I've got to wait for another DA that's a senior or So
I'm
just
suspended, so
go
I
and
probably
watch.
shouldn't, and I want to wait for
I don't
Harlan as
give a
well.
Fuck about that.
I
Liz.
want to wait for
No.
Harlan as well. I mean, you know, if I can, I don't want to do things
Yeah.
wrong before I do them right. Right?
All right.
yeah,
Alright.
I'm the exact same case. I was only teasing. I'm sorry.
Yep, no worries. All right, let's go.
Thanks for
Holly.
the invitation. I appreciate you.
Yep, I'll be back shortly.
Shit, has it been 10 minutes already?
Yeah, it's been a good minute.
Yeah, I might just give him another call.
I don't want to. What's it called? What's the term for that? It's no.
Hey,
Even
Alan,
if
you still there,
nobody
mate?
cares, I feel like it's what do you call that? Procedure proper. Like, these things exist for a reason, and so I don't want to be like, well, nobody cares, so I'm not going to do that thing. I don't know. I'm not sure to do things right.
No, okay. Oh, wrong channel. Might help if I put it on the right channel. Hey, Alan, just checking in, mate, making sure you're okay. Nah, too easy, mate. Oh, yeah. I'm happy to keep waiting for you.
Not even
just let us
SLPs.
know
Like,
when you're ready to
if
come
I
in,
knew
I'll,
that somebody was suspended
we'll
and
meet
was
you
going on
wherever you
summer
want
reps, I'd be
us
like,
to meet.
that probably isn't too good, right? So I don't want to be hypocritical in that sense.
Yeah, he's very busy at the moment.
Judges
Yeah,
always seem to
sick.
be.
Yeah, actually sounds like he's not. Sounds like he's actually sick.
No.
Yeah, have a bit of a blocked nose.
How has it been for? I know the judges were like super overworked for a long while. Is that still the case?
Yeah, there is cases after case. There's lots of mini cases. Just getting slammed, and there's a few big cases. Like not many, but there's a few big cases like Huck cases that are taking forever to get pushed through. And yeah, deal with everyone trying to buy land and get surveys done, and it's just
Okay. If that's
plus. Oh, sorry, go on.
if that's the case, I was going to say maybe I could consider applying for a judge if they need some help.
Can you go straight to a judge? I thought you had to go through as a clerk first, or a magistrate.
I mean, I saw people from the TA's office go to judge from there. That was the case for Sunny. That was the case for Lars. That was the case for who else was there? That was the case for Harlan.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Tammy's DA. Interesting. Oh, that's right. She did make another character. That's right.
Yeah, I
Or
couldn't
did she?
be judged. Too much
What
paperwork
frick is it? Is there a lot of paperwork that comes with it?
for DA. Sorry, yeah, misheard you there, Liz. What'd you
Or
say?
I said, is there a lot of paperwork that comes with it?
For a judge?
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah, yes. Yeah.
What would they need to fill out exactly?
As far as I know, it's constantly like filling up the Discord pages. The
You just said it. You just said it. Can you say?
I don't know. All I like, I can't say anything, but all I know is the clerks do a lot of it. The clerks do a lot of the paperwork and all like that. But I know the judges. What the clerks have told me, the judges still have a lot to do, a lot to keep on their plate.
Okay. So mainly
Follow up.
docket stuff. That's what you're saying.
I'm gonna assume, yeah. I couldn't. For me, anyway, any kind of paperwork like that's it's more than just 1 or 2 pages is more than too much for me. You've got to fill out for when you do land surveys. You've got to keep up with bar licenses for people. Fill those out. I don't know. I haven't been in the job for long enough to actually know every single step of what they do. You probably know more than I do. Well, actually, you would know way more than I do.
I come where I learned the jurisdiction I learned in. I was having to do. There was a time when I had to do 10 hours paperwork, followed by 10 hours paperwork the next day, followed by another 10 hours paperwork the next day, and another 10 hours the next day as well. That was rough.
Yeah. No, fuck that. All I know is that everyone's after a judge to get something done, and they just always seem run down.
Yeah, that's what I've been, or that's what I saw too, and I was a little bit worried because it felt like the judges were becoming jaded over time.
Yeah. Yeah, not exactly not how I'd like to spend my time.
Well, usually I feel like if things are going that poorly, there's probably an issue, either that's not being addressed or an issue above them in some manner.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Just like you see, one of the biggest issues is like judges around at a certain time, but there's a large period of time where there is no judges around, where people are wanting judges, needing judges. Nothing happens, and then it falls back onto the judges when they're on that limited time. Everything gets smashed onto them. It would be nice, if there was more around the clock type shit going on, because then it would take the burden off everyone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So I often hear if we just had more people, that'd fix the problem, but I often find that's not the case.
Not more people, but I wouldn't say more people. I'd say more people, like, not spread out over certain time periods. You need people during certain time periods, not just one time period.
Okay.
Like, you can have a lot more people, but if they're all on at the same time period,
yeah.
If you have that, especially like that are just judges, and you have citizens that are on when the judges aren't around, then citizens, they'll leave messages, they'll get their lawyers to try and do everything, then lawyers will smash them as soon as the judges hop on, the judges will become jaded and not want to do anything. And
oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about
yeah,
whenever you whenever you're ready for work, and the first thing that happens is you have someone just throwing 4 things at once at you. Doesn't feel very good at all.
Yeah, well, exactly. And because every time as soon as a judge comes on, DA's just like, hey, is there a judge around? We've been getting hounded all day, requests for judges. Like, fuck that. That would be shit.
Yeah, and then that ends up spreading to all the judges slowly, because they other judges won't want to do that, or let's call it, work with that kind of environment.
No, other judges don't want to work with that kind of environment, and they'll start trying to go, oh yeah, well I'm busy at the moment, push it off to another judge. It's like, no, okay.
Well, I think it would be nice to have like some level of what's the term for that? So, how for like lawyers, there's like contract lawyers, there's divorce lawyers, there's all kinds of different lawyers. I think that should probably be the case for judges as well. They should definitely specialize to some degree, and expecting them to do everything is probably too much.
Yeah, I would agree. The only issue I'd have is like, okay, let's say you had a marriage lawyer or some sorry, not like a marriage judge or whatever, or something like that, and that judge all of a sudden was sick or unable to turn up into county for a week or so, and then you've got other judges that are falling behind because people are going, hey, look, why can't you do this? We need this judge here, because we want to get married, blah 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 blah. They start attacking other judges, saying, why can't you do this? This is just bullshit, blah 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 blah. Yeah, because when you have especially like one person specialized in a field, it's great if they're around, but the moment they're not around, yeah, it just starts to.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're talking about, but I think that specializations could be more broad in the sense of like if a judge needs to do a lot of paperwork or like to respond to the docket and stuff, they could, you know, that kind of judge. Or there can be like trial judges, the ones who actually want to do the trials and whatnot. You know, there could be that kind of judge.
But isn't that a clerk's job? Is that what the clerks are for? You know, be the people in the background doing the paperwork and doing the.
Well, you said there was a lot of paperwork for judges, so I mean, I feel like
There is.
clerks would probably do most paperwork, right?
Well, the clerks do the most paperwork, but they're the ones that like kind of push on the judges, going, okay, well, we need you to sign this, we need you to sign this, we need you to. Yeah. No, you've had 3 people today wanting a hearing or a case solved in court. So yeah, like clerks do all the most of the paperwork, but they still got to push it onto a judge, you know, to go, hey, this still needs to be signed, this still needs to be done. 3 people need to have their wanting to have their cases heard. That's still mentally drain you.
Is there a step in between judges, or like someone else could be reached out to before judges?
No. So normally it's just a clerk and then a judge. As far as I know, like, yeah, as I said, I don't know if there is, but that's as far as I've been taught, is that it's just a clerk and then a judge. You have magistrate judges, but a magistrate can only do certain things. They don't actually have that much power. You have a head clerk, which is almost like a judge. They have a bit more responsibility, but yeah. It's weird. I don't understand it myself sometimes.
I mean, I think it would be helpful to have people like doing what they want to do. Like, you know, being a judge is very broad, but if you have someone who like wants to sign off on like search warrants, that kind of stuff, or I think that would be, you know, a good thing to specialize in to some degree. And if they want to do other things, that's fine. But you know, their main focus is probably going to be something like that. Maybe that would help.
Mentally wise, I absolutely agree with you. Yes, it would. But then it comes down to you know, if what times they're around, if they're around, you know, if they're specialised only for that, and they don't jump on, like they're not in town on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, and the police need them to sign off on a search warrant on Tuesday.
Well, it's more about so I often feel judges are probably faced with a lot of expectations towards them, and if we were to say that this person specializes in this thing and that's their main focus, I feel like the expectations placed on them would be a lot less in comparison.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, so that way you wouldn't just say, you know, hey, is there a judge around? You could say, hey, is there a judge available who would be able to sign off on a search warrant? Or something like that.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I definitely understand where you're coming from. It'd make the burden of ease a lot easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all comes down to, like, you know, rotation. If you've got no one, like, when you're away to take that burden on, it kind of all stacks up and piles up. Still.
Yeah.
So,
I've gone the perspective from like the DA side, and I've gone perspective from the lawyer side, but I'd like to try and get a little bit of perspective from the judge's side so that I understand the problems they're facing, and I can help in some manner. Maybe being a clerk's would be a good interim between that.
I'm not ready. He says he's coming.
Okay.
Sounded like I heard a bike running or something.
Good luck.
What's up? How's it going?
Hey, Harlan. How you doing?
Not.
Good. How you guys doing?
I'm still getting dressed.
Nice.
I apparently woke up from a coma that I've been in for 2 months, so.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was shot by Ricky 4 times in the back, so. So.
What?
Yeah, he went and took me out to an alley and then shot me. And I don't know, that guy's crazy.
Interesting.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, I am suspended currently. I think it's because of inactivity. Would you be able to unsuspend me?
You're suspended from inactivity?
Yeah, because I was in a coma for a couple months.
Yeah, let me take a look. I have no fucking clue
All
if
right.
there's anybody that said anything about anything, so just take a quick little look.
Well, I think it's there's so much expectations placed on judges to do like this and that. So to
so fucking confused. Okay, so your bar license isn't revoked, but it is.
what?
As weird as that sounds. So it looks like Emma gave it to you. Nobody ever took it, which makes no fucking sense. But Madison Sparks, the judge, essentially said that you need to speak to someone about a failure to appear for a court case.
Ooh.
It was not of my own volition. I was in a coma. That's really all I can say.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what it's even about either.
Plot thickens.
I did have a couple cases, I believe, around the time I went into a coma. So
Let me talk to Sparks about it and make sure that, you know, we're on the same page. Main thing I care about is not just like going over another judge to do something.
yeah, I understand that.
super quick.
Can I at
But
least be?
I'll make sure I have it within 24 hours. So.
Can I be okay to go along with some reps with James and whatnot?
I mean, as long as you're just operating in a paralegal capacity at the moment, then that's fine.
All right, thank you. All right.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. And of course, as long as the, you know, officers are being chill about it.
Yeah, of
Just
course.
do not tell them you are a lawyer for now, for your own safety.
Okay. All right.
Yes. It's just for the best.
I get it. So,
Where you go,
And
Pete?
if I may get my bar reinstated, please, good sir. I would like, you know, answer the questions.
I throw my shit in
Oh.
there, man.
I wanna, yeah, gotta do it properly.
So, trying to remember. You don't look like anybody I remember. So, what was your name?
William Harris. Yeah, I've grown a bit of a little mustache and gotten some tattoos.
Okay. Let's see.
all right, good. We got permission. It's good to get
Show me
permission.
your
Thanks.
ID.
Oh yes.
Definitely helps since I don't actually like recognize you directly at the moment. You need a state ID also.
What was that, sir?
You need a new state ID.
Oh yes, 5th to 21st.
It's not expired, but your picture is super got scratches all over it, so you can't see it.
Oh, that's because Dolores is yeah, she's on strike at the moment. Everything's gone.
Oh, is
Yeah.
she not putting pictures on any of them?
No, she's not putting pictures on anything.
Let
Yeah,
me see.
Dolores is yeah.
Let me see. Is mine? Mine's. That looks pretty okay.
I thought so.
No, mine.
Here, show
let me
me.
find my firearms license. Where's that one?
There's a picture of it.
Yeah, see, my firearms license is.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know firearms license had a picture on it.
I mean, we might be able
license
to
carry.
just like take a picture of you and
Yeah, I
then
guess
give her that
mine's fine,
picture.
too.
Yeah, I might have to do. I might have to do it that way. 'Cause the use photo is working, but if you try and get like your hunting license or your fishing license, she won't hand it out at all.
Wait, she won't even give you one?
She won't even give you one. The only way you can get a license is with the ones that say use photo.
You sure?
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
Yeah. I've actually reported it to the
I have my hunting license right here.
Yeah, no, I have mine
because
mine
I
as well, but
renewed mine, so.
She just got a hunting
Just-
license, so I think you're
I'll
good.
try. They might have fixed her. Made her happy.
I hope it should be fine.
Well, it's good to see you, Harlan. How have you been doing?
I've been doing good. Can you believe I've been a judge for freaking
Yay.
8-9 months now? It's crazy.
Wow,
man.
that is gone crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So?
been a long time.
Oh, have you been enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been all good. I've been chilling out a lot, the past couple of months. I've been around just, I've been focusing a lot on the mechanic shop.
Oh no, that's the wrong one.
Here you go. We got Sirius
Funny.
Black.
No, that is not the right one. Wait, hold on. Did you even give me my? Why do I have? Huh?
Be careful with having that ID because you look
Yeah,
like
that's-
somebody else for
No.
here.
Yeah, no, that was me testing it out to see what was actually
Okay.
working. Sorry. I got a driver's license that is my state ID. Whoops.
So the judges
Harry
haven't been
Potter's uncle.
judges haven't been too overworked or anything like that.
No, I don't. I do not. That is like against my DNA right there. I don't put myself in a situation where I get overworked.
Okay.
A lot of people put that like pressure on themselves,
I was definitely doing that myself. That's
Yeah, you have more cases than I think anybody's ever had.
I don't know what's. I might actually have to, sleep because none of my state IDs are popping up with my headshots.
Shit.
yeah, let's go take a quick nap and
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. I won't be very long at all.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. What's this guy's name again? William?
William Harris.
P. I mean, you don't have to be over here, but you're more than welcome to be. It is not a private conversation.
No, just hanging out with Larry,
Okay.
talking about you.
Okay.
Yeah, and he just doesn't know me. That was kind of crazy. I thought I'd at least go off somewhere. Oh,
This may come as a crazy surprise, but would you believe there's 3 William Harrises?
actually, that's funny.
Yeah, it's like the fucking Steve Johnson of names right here.
Was it John Smith?
Um,
Yeah. Or was it James Smith or John Smith? What was the most common? So
I don't know, one of those two. They're all very common. Yeah, I have no idea until I get a state ID. I see one that says that they're a paralegal, but
I believe he's that one.
oh, he wants me to give him a bar test?
He said that he had had his bar before the big flood.
Oh. Other people probably give a fuck about that, but I don't.
Fair.
Alright.
Second attempt. Ah, yes.
Alright.
There we go.
So, you may have had your bar license before, but it's a new day, it's a new age. As much
I'm
as I
already
don't want to give
scared.
a bar test, you're getting one before you get this bar license.
Ah, let's do it.
Alright, give me a sec here.
Hey, what is the standard for the? What is the standard for the bar license? Like, do
Sorry,
Um,
it's kinda hard.
Like as far as?
well, for like if a paralegal wanted to get a bar, do they have to go to judge for that now, or?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Hold on one sec.
Yep.
What were you saying?
Oh, hi. Hi, what?
I'm pretty sure I heard some
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
conversation
The PDO and all that.
Oh, just trying to replay everything in my mind.
I think you're worrying too much about it.
I am. I think I am worrying too much about it. So when you start to worry, you start to, like, make mistakes.
I mean, if you know your stuff, then there's got to be able to,
Oh, yeah.
what's the term for that? Effectively convey it. That's usually the issue people have. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
like how much courtroom experience do you have?
A little bit. Like, I've done a couple of cases, but I haven't done... like I've done probably maybe 4 or 5 courtroom cases.
Okay. Well then I would say you probably at least got rid of the jitters, right? And being able to speak in public. It's probably one of the things
like,
that...
I could talk to you fine, that's... yeah.
Or, no, I mean like public speaking in front of a whole bunch of people.
Whenever something's
Oh, yeah.
I just assume it's not private. If it is, I'll tell you beforehand. Sound good?
No, just tell me if it's private or not.
That's what I said. It's never private unless I say it is.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here.
Where's your white coat?
All right. You missed my white coat?
No, I'm just gonna steal it. I'll wear it myself.
Deal.
Deal? That's
I like it.
I like it.
I haven't had a chance to change.
I know. Yeah, good luck on your bar license, man. You got this.
I appreciate it.
Oh,
Thank
are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are. I'm just standing here shaking my boots now. I'm only kidding.
You're gonna be fine.
Good. That's what I want to hear.
Evil grin, good.
You let him stew.
Let him shoot.
All right. It's it's pretty straightforward. It's
Yep. I love the teasing.
yeah. It's totally not the hardest bar test that's probably ever been in the state. All right, so
I think there's probably should be like some little practical test too.
So just keep in mind, some shit you may know, some shit you may not know. I don't care what you know and what you don't know. All I want to know is that you're not going to crash out during court because you're fucking dumb. Deal?
Yeah, no, fair enough. That's
hell yeah.
I feel like that's
it.
more of a personality test than anything.
Yeah, we don't want a
Yeah.
Robert Fields 2.0 up in this bitch.
We don't want another Killian.
Well, Robert Fields is extra special too because he actually is a decent guy who was trying to do a good job and just completely got overwhelmed.
Really? Wait, he was the guy that was setting up all the
getting kicked from being losing his bar license over it, getting corruption or something. I don't even know, man.
Well, I thought that was because it was his first case or something, and then he
It was.
and then he worked really hard and became a lawyer again, right?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't change the fact that it's happened and it's officially considered a Robert Fields to me now when somebody crashes out in court.
Oh.
Because that momentous occasion.
True.
I like Robert a lot, actually, even though he gave my name up to Russian mobsters and they put a hit on me.
Oof.
I don't know what the fuck that was about. But then he literally called me immediately after it happened and said, "Oh my god, I panicked and they told me who they should kill and I said your name." Okay. All right, brother.
Whoopsie.
I forgive you. I forgave him for it.
Look at me.
See?
Oh, wow. That looks better than you anyways.
Yeah?
Yep.
Cute.
All right. This is, I mean, it's open book if you want it to be, but if I literally feel like listen, you do whatever you got to do. All right. I'm not going to.
Yeah, man.
All
right. Routine traffic stops happening. Who cares what it is, right? They're speeding and driving around a little bit crazy.
Yep.
Officer pulls some people over. Can the officer tell the driver and the passengers that they need to step out of the vehicle without any additional probable cause outside of the speeding and reckless driving?
Yes, to do a Terry frisk. To do a Terry frisk.
You didn't say
to
Terry frisk.
Identify if they have any dangerous weapons on them. For their own safety.
Just for fun, why would a Terry frisk apply here?
Because it's reasonable suspicion that they may actually have a weapon on them.
How?
You know, if someone's willing to break the law in speed, then they may also be breaking the law by carrying a so
No.
let's have them
What?
Jump out of the vehicle.
That's not
Not
reasonable to
gonna
assume
lie,
that.
it's a fucking hell of a job, but it's interesting
Yeah.
to hear. All right.
Look, if like for me personally, if someone's going to break the law, I'm going to approach them with very cautious intents, because if they seem nervous in any single way, or if they seem agitated that I've pulled them over, I would like to know that my safety is 100%. So I would have the driver and the passenger jump out, because it's not a violation of if I feel like my life is a danger to do a simple Terry frisk under reasonable suspicion.
What are the prongs for a Terry frisk? What's required for that?
Yeah, let's hear that.
So prompts for a Terry frisk are generally reasonable suspicion. That's yeah.
Just that?
Oh yeah, so
Well,
if I have reasonable suspicion that you're
reasonable suspicion that they may have or are about to commit a crime, or they are in a suburban area that has a high crime rate, that is known for a high crime rate, or if the individual officer has or knows them to have committed crimes in the past.
so
Kind of.
just so you know as well, this is something that we'll be posting for information, probably through the docket or something, but
Yep.
we are officially putting Illinois v. Wardlow and Minnesota v. Dickerson on the case laws for the state, because you mentioned a high crime area getting, having reasonable, well, in this case, doesn't really fucking matter what you call it, but
Yeah.
even having just probable cause that somebody's doing anything in a high crime area. All these case laws are all wrapped into Terry, so it's interesting hearing you say it, because as much as I want to tell you you're wrong, technically you're 100% right here in this state.
Kind
Obviously,
of.
I'm only going off what the information that was provided to me. So, and I've just kept on
Well, it's
replaying it,
good
replaying it, replaying it.
information.
Yeah. So,
So next question. I don't want this to take forever. It normally takes like 45 minutes, and I do not want it to take 45 minutes.
Yep.
Fair.
Cops are chasing someone. They're driving over off the fucking fake ass wannabe Rodeo Drive.
Yep.
There's a bunch of people shopping for their fancy shit. Guy is going like 100 miles an hour running from the cops, drives up on the sidewalk. A bunch of people have to jump out of the way of the car. Guy goes
Yep.
back on the street, gets up away from all the people. Cops decide they're going to pit the guy. Guy flies out of his window, breaks his neck, lives somehow, can never walk again. Guy sues the cops. Are the cops responsible, and is that a legal use of force?
This is illegal use of force under Scott v. Harris.
Good job.
Oh,
Actually, you don't even gotta elaborate, man. That is, you're one of the few people that actually get that one correct. A lot of people do.
I don't know my
Tennessee
case
v.
law too well.
Garner on that, and it-
oh,
I mean, well, if
Or at
you
least names them.
push
Usually I
with
can
all
just
your
work
might to make it fit, it could
with
I guess,
information
but
to
yeah, it's Scott v.
work
Harris.
backwards with information.
yeah, no. I don't know if
So
that was
under
that one, so
that,
actually in police,
the police
cases
wouldn't
where,
necessarily be
Tennessee
liable.
Garner is to
The
actually,
police
more
station could be liable.
use of a lethal weapon than an actual. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a lethal weapon, but it could be, any suspicion that
Or the police
somebody's
force,
gonna
just-
essentially cause harm after, a scenario
death,
might be
yeah.
over or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
All right. So another one. A cop is driving around. They go into a parking lot. They see a bunch of like smoke in the air. Like, oh, whatever. They see the smoke's actually coming from a vehicle. They get a little closer. They smell weed. All right, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Hello.
They smell weed. They get a little bit closer to the vehicle, and they look in and see this is a bar test. It's one that I give to a lot of people because I can't be bothered to rewrite this at the moment.
Oh, is he in the bar test? That's funny.
They get closer. They see a gun in the passenger seat. The officer immediately grabs that person and orders them out of the car and starts searching them and then searching their vehicle. Is that legal?
I know the Carroll v. United States allows for a warrantless search of the vehicle without it doesn't
That's for
violate
if
the
they're
Constitution. Because someone was smoking weed, that's automatically breaking the law. So yes, there is enough. Yep.
All right.
Is it prisonable?
Park ranger is
Getting
park
blown up.
ranger. Park ranger
Not
It depends if
fair.
it's prisonable or not. Because if it's not prisonable, this is fine.
is going to their favorite fishing spot. They're just going there to kind of look and chill a little bit, wait
And the
for
warrantless
a
search is
call
only
or
allowed if,
whatever. They see someone over there that
the
is
vehicle's
standing
being
by
towed.
the water.
basically.
The person by the water has no fishing pole in their hand or nothing. They have a fishing pole sitting about 3 feet away from them. They got a cooler, a tackle box, and a vehicle like 3 feet away from them.
Yep.
The ranger walks up to him and says, "Hey, I just want to search your stuff." Are the rangers within their right? And if they are, why? Or if they're
So
not, why?
That would fall under Rags versus St. Andreas. So a park ranger has reasonable belief that a person has been engaged in hunting or fishing, may search a person's containers or vehicle to inspect their catch and haul anywhere within United States, anywhere in the States.
All right. An officer is chilling at a stop sign. They're, let's just say, in the South Side. Let's say the South Side is just full of disgusting, rotten criminals, crime, constantly
Okay.
getting calls out there about drug sales, tons of problems.
I'm always giving this somebody use the restroom quick.
all the time. Very well-known area for crime.
Yep.
Cop sitting at the stop sign. Guy is walking towards the cop on the sidewalk, not paying attention. Suddenly looks up, sees the cop, realizes, damn, I'm walking right at this cop. Decides as soon as him and the cop both make eye contact, he turns around and he starts running the other direction. Does the cop have RS for detainment?
Yes, because it's evasive behavior.
Under what
So that's
condition?
reason.
Because that's not irrational when there's no reason for it to be rational.
It's reasonable suspicion with evasive behavior under. I know what it's on the top of my head, and I'm just.
This is why this case law is not going to be wrapped up inside of the Terry law anymore and will be standing on its own, strong. Right. I'll tell you at the end of the bar exam. We can continue forward. Don't worry, man.
Yeah, mate. Yep, that sounds good.
All right.
Hold on. Can
So
I interject there real quick?
you can at the end, since this is a bar exam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'd be happy to hear your input afterwards. I just want to make sure this is all done, so if we want to bullshit, we can afterwards. And if I want to go to bed or ride off into the sunset here with the park ranger, I can do that. Let's see here. So, all right, I'm gonna just say some random shit. You'll be a defense counsel. I will be playing a couple different people. I'll tell you what I'm playing before I say the question. I'll say the question, then you will object to it. You'll tell me why you're objecting to it. Deal?
Okay.
All right. All right. I'm a prosecutor. I'm asking my first witness on a case against your client here. So what do you think the defendant's planning to do with that money?
Objection leading.
It can't really be leading if you're asking somebody a question when you're not giving them only a one option to answer, essentially, you know?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's not exactly what leading is, but for the sake of keeping it simple, that's not what's happening here. You know? We're just asking for somebody for their opinion, but...
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess that would come underneath objection relevancy, but then without knowing the actual full scope of the actual case, it, yeah.
Try your best not to overthink it. Just listen to the sentence and decide what is being said in the sentence that would qualify for an objection. It's not going to be some underlying crazy context I'm going to expect you to know that I never said, or it's not a trick question either. Right?
Okay.
What do you think the defendant was planning to do with the money they stole from this store? I'm asking this as a prosecutor to a state witness.
So what do you think?
Yep, they're asking this, and you're the defense counsel, and it's your time to object right now. The spotlight's shining, fucking sweat's dripping down your forehead.
Yep.
You're sitting there wondering what objection you need to call.
You got this, man. You got this.
I would honestly at that point say, if it's trying to... That would have to be leading. Objection leading.
Well, we already determined it's not leading.
It's not leading.
No. You're crashing out, brother. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I am crashing out.
You already said relevant.
It's objection. It's fucking hot.
Is it? Objection. Is it hot in here, guys?
Yeah. Objection. I'm turned on, Your Honor.
All right. Oof. We'll move on.
Okay.
Next question.
Actually,
I am a, let's say, oh, here, I'll just play the prosecutor again.
Yep, okay.
Your defense counsel. So I ask state witness, tell me what you heard that led up to this incident. Right? Who the fuck cares what the incident is? Right? Witness on the stand says, well, my brother's roommate told me he saw the defendant at the store the other night buying that weapon.
So wouldn't that come underneath objection compound?
No.
So compound would be if I as a state.
That one would have been speculation or opinion.
Or just a person asking you questions in general, let's say.
I've wireless headsets. What was listening?
Multiple questions, expecting you to answer all of them at the same time.
Answer at the same time. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
the previous one, yeah.
Where were you on this night? What time was it? And how much, alcohol did you drink? That would be considered a compound question because I'm asking you multiple questions at the same time.
Yep. Right.
So what I'm asking though is.
All right, so he's
saying those witnesses.
He definitely needs some more courtroom experience. That's what I'm seeing here.
Saying, my brother's roommate told me.
But it's hard to get that without being a lawyer, right? So
told me they saw the defendant at the store buying a weapon.
He really struggles with objections. Wow. Okay.
Does anybody else have any idea what this could be?
I have.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So for me personally, that
Don't
would.
worry, I'm just trying to amp up the pressure. I want to see more sweat, baby.
Listen, if I know it, you should know it 100%.
I should.
It is important to know. This is one of the most basic objections.
So it would either fall underneath, objection of source, or
what? What's he saying?
Objection source is an objection.
Jesus Christ, man.
Source.
Hold on, Kimball.
I shouldn't say objection source. I should have said
You are on the right track
You're
when you say
cracking.
source. My brother's roommate told me he saw the defendant buying a weapon at the store.
Hearsay. This is what he's referring to as for this one.
Yeah, source is definitely very, very warm.
Hmm?
not relevance.
How about, can you list the various objections?
Sure. So I'll just list off all the objections I can think of off the top of my head, which is probably very limited. So you're going to have a objection of speculation. You're going to have an objection of hearsay. You're going to have an objection to
relevance, opinion,
relevance. We know he already knows that one.
Yeah.
Facts foundation, facts not in evidence.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say too many because I'm not trying to.
Yeah, so I would say objection to speculation.
What?
Relevance.
Come on, guys.
Sorry, relevance.
Come on, guys.
Relevance. Sorry, relevance.
Oh my! These are
It's
so.
definitely not relevance.
Relevance.
You're cold.
Fuck. I'm cold as cold can be.
You're cold.
It makes you feel better. I'm entertained right now. I love
Yeah,
that.
nice.
I love that your go-tos are objection, relevance. And what was the other one? I forgot already.
It was hearsay, I believe.
Objection source.
Yeah, it was source. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so
I mean, he knows case law, but he
just
does
to
no
make this a
objections.
little
That's kind of
easier,
crazy to
I'm
me.
pretty sure somewhere in the last 30 seconds I heard the objection you should say. My brother's roommate told my brother's roommate.
Why is he saying that at Suntour? I don't understand.
Yeah,
There we go. Right.
Yay.
Yeah, there we go.
So the most important part is, why is it hearsay?
because it's coming from a third source. Unless that actual source is there to verify what's being said, that's hearsay.
Perfect. Being able to absorb that in a courtroom is a very important skill to have, because if you even get a halfway decent state rep or district attorney, up, whatever, and they're gonna steamroll you, like, to the point where you're gonna be like, this is fucking stupid.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
So yes,
Rite of passage.
You won't even know why or how that you're getting steamrolled.
yeah, they're gonna ask every question, plus the ones they shouldn't ask, plus the ones that completely screw over your defense and everything, all of the above. Whether or not they're guilty on your end or not is irrelevant at this point, because they could be innocent and they're probably gonna look guilty.
Yeah,
Right.
that's Yep.
Here's one that if you get this one and you didn't get the other ones, I will be fucking mind blown.
Oh fuck! Here we
I think
go.
you definitely need some more courtroom experience, but
This one is an extra credit one, actually. So, we got a, let's say, trying to think of a good example. Let's say cops up on the stand giving a narrative testimony in a, let's say in a bench trial instance where you can object to a narrative statement, right? Because we want to keep it spicy.
where you can.
Let's all right, I got some.
Ooh.
Cop gets up on the stand and says, talking a bunch of shit, talking about the scenario, and says, you know what, this defendant, they've been sued for 3 other incidents here, 3 other times, and obviously there's a pattern here at this point, so
That has to
they
be
should
submitted as
guilty
evidence.
just on the fact that this is what they do all the time.
And I'm pretty sure.
What objection would you call?
Oh, this is a rare one actually. What was the fuck was the name of that one?
To relevance on that, because this isn't about those other crimes. This is about this current crime. It's
Relevance wouldn't necessarily be
It's
wrong,
not a
but
horrible objection, but it's not.
it is
the
relevant
objection.
though. Yeah, it is relevant. It's not the.
It's not one that I would uphold in a courtroom because it could be relevant, right? With a relevance argument, it is undoubtedly irrelevant, right? But here, it's not undoubtedly irrelevant. You know,
Right.
does it mean it's prejudicial? I mean, it's absolutely prejudicial. Is that something that shouldn't be allowed in any courtroom? Absolutely, right? But as a judge, unless you start getting too far overboard, I'm not going to sit and interrupt somebody that's essentially rolling over you with a fucking rolling pin.
Yeah. Okay.
There was objection
Alright,
prejudicial,
I'll
but
give you
no,
this one
there was
free
a special
because
one
it's
for that
actually,
one. What was the name of that? Let me
a
check.
freebie. And plus, I could tell P's getting impatient.
No.
She's probably just like, oh, watch me suffer. Watch him suffer.
I'm just answering.
Technically, you could
everything
object to
in
facts,
my
not
head
evidence.
right now. Just like I noticed. Yeah.
All right,
Should do
so
my
Good on
part,
you.
man.
is just for fun, since this is a bonus, does anybody have an idea of what this is?
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
I might.
Defendant has been sued, you know, many other
Improper
times.
character evidence.
That is correct.
That's
I
what I
would-
was thinking.
I would also say more prejudicial than probative.
Well, it's all the same thing, right? When you say something's prejudicial versus probative, you still would give an objection of improper character evidence because by stating that, you are implying that it's prejudicial. You know, you don't actually have to say, like, when you do an objection, you wouldn't object to prejudicial versus probative. You could just do, you know, give an objection that proves that it's prejudicial. So because you're saying improper character evidence, you're inherently saying this shit's prejudicial because you're now essentially trying to make this person look bad. And it's a little bit weird because normally that kind of stuff is more for jury trials. And the reason why they wouldn't want somebody to say something like that is because it's very easy to sway a bunch of sheep ass motherfuckers in the jury box by saying a bunch of shit that's not like true to this case. You know, like if I say, you know, this motherfucker has stolen like 5 times before, right? At that point, you are essentially swaying the jury using information that's not relevant to the trial, which would make it prejudicial.
Yep.
How people hate you and they don't even know you. Got him. All right.
There's also facts, not evidence, that would have to be submitted as evidence for the court case.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, yes. But in this case, we wouldn't even want to go that far because there shouldn't be facts outside of the court case that were ever entered into evidence in the first place.
But would relevance still work? Like, I know you said you wouldn't accept it, but would relevance still work on that because those facts aren't in the evidence?
You know, for the most part, I would just say you should never use that objection again in your life unless you're 100% sure.
Yeah, okay.
It's too much of a go-to for you.
Oh, I love it.
Objection relevance.
Just because he stole 5 cars before doesn't mean he stole this car.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what it means.
No.
All right, so we're moving away from objections.
I was going to say, is there anything?
This to take 45 minutes.
Yep.
I was going to say, is there anything that could make that character evidence allowable?
No, because you're still trying to use previous incidents to prove guilt on a current.
So if the defense introduces evidence of good character, you can then introduce evidence of bad character.
So just like with trying to make somebody look bad, you can try and prove that somebody is good by having like statements, but you can't just say they're good and that matter. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really
falls on the DA. It falls on the DA at that point to make that objection for the improper character evidence, and also the defense would have to.
It's not improper character evidence. You're allowed to
form it in a question, so that they're not just counselors testifying.
Right. Do you think that not they are great a person? Oh wait, I almost said that right. Okay. Anyways. Burden of proof standards.
So you're allowed to get someone up on the stand to be like, yeah, this person's a good person, a member of the community, and you can do that. But then the what's called prosecution's
standards
allowed
of
to
burden
get
of
somebody to be up
proof
there. It's like, this person's a horrible
are
person,
there
he
in
did this
this
and that. He's done this in the past. You're allowed to do that, but only whenever the defense does it first. Whenever they like have evidence or what's
I'll
called
give you a hint. It's more
a
than
character
one,
witness
but less than 10.
on their side. But that's not something that's like taught very often ever, or really relevant.
Doubt.
So it's pretty rare exception. Remember, I had to look that one up for
So they never actually
I forget the reason why I looked that one up, but yeah, I had to do research for that one.
You're supposed to be a fucking lawyer, brother. Alright, when is beyond
but
a
they never-
reasonable doubt applicable?
one is beyond a reasonable doubt applicable.
Yeah, when let's say I'm a district attorney, when would I try and push a charge on somebody where they have to be guilty beyond a reasonable doubt? Or let's say I'm anybody.
In any
A cop.
any charge would have to
Wouldn't
be.
that be under a affirmative defense?
I'm asking for a burden
Burden of proof.
Yeah. You said beyond a reasonable doubt. When would beyond a reasonable doubt apply? What kind of like trial? What kind of charges? What kind of
Oh, he's looking for a criminal. Those ways of rendering.
criminal
situation?
case.
There you go.
Civil case.
There you don't go.
So
There's a
it's just
special one
criminal
for
case,
civil.
not
Do you know what the burden of proof for civil?
I believe all I know is that there is one for civil, and I know there is one for criminal.
Phone. Pull up your little fancy phone. Take a look at what your options are. And throw me the first one that makes the most sense for civil cases.
My fancy phone.
Yeah. It's a nice phone.
Burden of proof for
Similar to
civil
mine,
is
but
preponderance
I put a
of
bunch
evidence,
hot glue on mine and
which is
actually
just
took real
means
sprinkles
more
that
likely
you
than
eat
not
and put
generally.
them on the outside.
Well, but there does have to be
Oh.
evidence as well.
Fraud.
So your burden of proof
Oh.
answer is fraud?
What?
Not fraud.
I should have
It's not
ended
fraud.
this
It's
bar
not fraud.
exam a question ago already.
Yeah, I think you might need some more courtroom experience, Jan. It's
Yeah.
I think you should just here's what I'll do, right? I really want to like pass you through this, but you're gonna get fucked if you go up against somebody right now. Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
But I don't want to like hold you back from becoming a lawyer for like a long ass time. So what I think you should do is number one, you should I'm trying to think. Okay. Can you get on the docket, right? Everyone can, right?
Yeah. I docket.
Look on the docket. There's a bunch of information in there for like guides or whatever the fuck you want to call them, right? They're not great, but they're good and they're semi-updated. Just kind of go over that stuff in there. What I can guarantee is everything that's in there is what's on the SPAR exam.
Yeah, like citizens arrest, statutes of limitation, bolos, injunctions, Brady violations.
Yep.
Brady violations.
Andreas,
It's a rare one.
Rags versus name, Andreas,
Oh, wait, no. Yeah.
Pennsylvania,
No.
MIMS, all those kind of things.
Yep. So the other burden of proof standard's called preponderance of evidence. It's essentially means a 51% standard. So if it means, even by a hair that you are more likely to have done something than not, then you would be guilty. An example is like if I leave you in a room with like, my bicycle in it, right? And
Yep.
I leave and I come back and you're gone and my bicycle's gone. Then I sue you for that later. And I have proof that my bicycle was there, proof that you were there, then, you were gone.
Yeah.
Beyond with a preponderance of evidence standard, beyond a reasonable doubt, there's no shot, right? But preponderance of evidence standard, if I can prove that you were there last with my bike, and have evidence to back that up, you're guilty as charged. And that's why it's different for civil, because, you know, criminal cases, people, we got to take that seriously, right? We're not just going to be sending people to jail over and over, but civil cases a little bit different when you're.
To give an example,
Okay.
for O.J. Simpson, he was found not guilty in criminal, but he was found to be liable in civil. All the assets that he, all the royalties from the, you know, if I did it, that is currently given to the family of the victims. Or the victim, I should say. So, and you could just think of preponderance of evidence as probable cause, but for civil. My thing break? Let me check.
Yeah, it's over at the
Yeah,
moment.
it's
He
over.
did not, unfortunately, did not pass.
If he was
did not
going
do
for a
well.
lawyer instead of DA, would he have passed?
I didn't know he was going for a DA, so
I was just going for a bar, or just a general
he's
bar.
just going for a bar. Yeah, it doesn't, with the DA, lawyer, whatever, it don't fucking matter. Same difference. As long as, it's not even about getting all the questions right, too, right? It's about you being able to hold your own when being asked the questions, right? And if
He
your
was shaking him quite a
answer
bit.
to the question is, you know, blank stare into my eyes, to me, that's not ready.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
It wouldn't be fair to say that you are ready to do somebody yourself to in that scenario.
Yeah, it works. Like, to me personally, it works easier when you've actually got the facts and evidence of what's going on and being able to
Well, everything's easier when it's your most perfect ideal scenario, and that's the point of this
Yeah,
test.
exactly. Yes, yeah.
Yep. I don't want to give you an ideal scenario. I want to give you a scenario where, you know, the cards are stacked against you essentially, so that way you can overcome adversity and show them you're the best Pokemon trainer alive. I mean, lawyer.
I'll just take my Scott v. Harris as a win, and I'll
Yeah, you started off strong, and it's like you're just like walk, and then a cliff was there, and
I walked in right as you got to the in-court experience type questions,
Yeah.
and it was not pretty.
just went
Yeah,
from whoop.
You're good, man. Though you got this. I will give you another shot here. I mean, we can just do it even tomorrow, whenever you want. Just make sure
Yeah,
you
I'll
take time to figure some shit out. And
I would even say he might
I'll
need
actually update. Maybe I have a cheat sheet. I don't
Another-
really like to give it to people because it like is the most spoon feediest
Like
thing
week
ever.
to
But
cook,
maybe
I'd say.
I'll put it back together.
I don't know, maybe that's too much. But I do think he probably needs to.
It literally covers the entire bar exam, but not. It doesn't tell you any of the answers to the questions. It does, but it's not like an actual cheat sheet for this specific test. It just contains all the information in a very easy to read format.
So I have a question about the Terry v. Ohio question.
Yeah.
So the unprovoked flight, you also stipulated that it was in the South Side. So was that something you were going for?
I specifically said it's in the South Side, and in this version of the South Side, there's always, calls for crime, a bunch of bullshit going on all the time. So,
Yeah, because it has to be unprovoked flight and in a high crime area. If it was the middle of the
What
desert,
case law
it
is that?
doesn't. It's Terry v. Ohio.
No, it's actually not. What case law is it?
Oh, is it Houghton?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. If it's not right in the MDT,
Starts
I
with
don't
the
know.
state name. The state starts with the letter I.
Let's
Not
say start with
expecting you to know, but
crime.
it is the actual case law. So this case law is
Idaho?
wrapped into the Terry law. So this is Illinois v. Wardlow, and it's
Illinois, that's
specifically what you mentioned. It's where you're in a high crime area and you do some shit that seems suspicious, essentially.
Nice.
And the Minnesota v. Dickerson, which is also wrapped into Terry, is essentially if I like pull you over or stop you, detain you, and I have to frisk you in that Terry frisk. During that Terry frisk, if I just so happen to see a plastic baggie with something that appears to be drugs in it, I can confirm that they look like something that appears to be drugs. I can confiscate those some things that appear to be drugs. What's up? I'm hanging on by a thread, but I hope you're doing. Alright guys, that's all the law talk I have in me. I'm pretty much hatched.
I have a quick
hatched.
law
That's weird.
question.
So-
How do I get paid?
Oh, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Run!
Run away.
It's
Hey,
only
you-
2.
I'm not sure if Alex, do you have the ability to even pay out people for stuff?
No, I can't pay them out.
Okay, it's God.
You have to do paperwork now.
That'll be,
I'm not sure if they changed that because it wasn't mine.
Or Nim.
Yes.
Wait. Oh,
I
can't
can,
Blake
but I'm
too?
told I'm not supposed to, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Nim and Blake. I think Nim's operating in a dual role currently, so.
I was talking
Blake
to Evelyn
is on
earlier.
away for the next 3 weeks, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Evelyn was trying to be a clerk again. I think she thinks too. She's not sure, but she wanted to wait till she could talk to Nim, but obviously hasn't run into her.
She could talk to Blake too.
Blake's on away.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go walk into a wall like one of those people, those like soldiers that you wind up and you just keep watching them like walk forward, and if
fuck?
they hit the wall, they just keep going.
Yeah, I'll just.
I thought you were gonna do the Homer Simpson and back into the bushes.
The Harry Potter jump through the right wall thing.
Oh my god. Such an idiot, honestly.
All right, you guys have a good one. I'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
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 Yeah, my advice from what I
Struggled
saw
so
from
much
the
there.
test, you
I broke
need
under
to,
pressure. That was me.
you need to
You
just
did.
work on your objections and watch more court cases.
Oh yeah, no, that was me. I just broke under pressure because I was trying to think of like multiple things at once, and then when it came to the actual objection, I'm going, "Fuck! Actually, hold on. Did he say this or did he? Ah, shit."
I mean, that's where you're going
It's
to be
easy.
experiencing in the quorum.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier like to pick out when you're not being faced with the question because you listen to it better. Like you can actually, how do I put it? When someone else is being asked a question, you can actually listen to the question better. When you're being asked it, you kind of rush through it. I guess I would put it like you kind of like
I
trying to
find it the
pick
other way
out.
around.
Oh shit! Okay, no, it can't be this because it's they didn't say this. It's multiple questions, so it can't be compound. It's not multiple questions, so it can't be compound. It's yeah.
I
Start
think much
going
more deeply if I'm asked the question directly.
nitpicking, and
Well,
then when
I
you
will
start
say-
nitpicking, you
The game speed
Yeah.
of being in court is going to be a lot faster than it will be on the test.
yeah. See, I always find it actually easier in court listening to people say their reply to questions and then being able to object to it than actually doing it. Like actually having to listen to a question and give an answer or a reply.
I was thinking to myself as you were taking the test, and like he wasn't
Yeah.
finished with his question before I was already thinking the objection. And I was like, yeah, that's real easy for me to do now that I've had plenty of experience under my belt. And it's hard, it's easy to forget where you came from, where you couldn't pick an objection out of a hat.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Because as soon as you're being asked the question, like instead of just being like listening and going, okay, yep, I see, I hear it now, yeah, I can object. When you're being asked the question, your brain just starts nitpicking things. You start fucking up. That's what for me, that's where I started coming from. Because when I first started off, it was easy. It was piss easy. He was like, oh, if an officer does this, what's that? Oh, okay, that's Terry v. O'Hara, or it's Rags v. San Andreas. All those were piss easy. But then, yeah, as soon as I started coming to the objections, I started nitpicking. And that's what I started stumbling on.
You doubled down and then you tripled down though, like on the same objection, even though he asked you like 3 times. So
I know. I was like, fuck. Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's what I like. My brain was just nitpicking at things and going, oh shit, and it went straight back to the same thing. I just, fuck. Yeah, that's my fault. That's something I'll go into court and just listen.
So I noticed, I don't know if Liz you noticed, but the test is the same as it was. It hasn't changed.
yeah, he said as much as well.
Yeah. Oh no, he was very lenient.
I think mainly for objections, that's something that really comes with experience. You learn to pick out certain patterns in the way people say things that'll just trigger, okay, this objection. Like especially for stuff like leading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, I remember Liz had told me that back when I was like a fresh lawyer, and I was like, I don't know. And honestly, like the way he was asking questions and like certain trigger words, or just like I was instantly on top of it. Like, yep, hearsay, yep, speculation. Like it was crazy.
Experience is pretty useful.
Yeah. As I said, I've only ever done like 5 actual 5 court cases, so.
I mean, my first court case ever. I was supposed to have it. Like, I didn't have any time in the cells with the guy. What happened was I was sitting. I had just got my bar, and I was hanging around the courthouse, and they couldn't find a lawyer for this guy for whatever reason. And Judge Emma was just like, "Hey, you wanna represent this guy?" And he gets brought in from prison because they accidentally sent him up. And he turns out he didn't actually really want a lawyer. He wanted to represent himself, but it was a shit show. I didn't know like any of the objections. And right before the court case starts, in comes Jordan Steele, takes over the whole court case, fucking gives me the biggest tongue lashing, like, "You're not ready. What are you doing?"
You guys have such high expectations of
Yep. Yes, Your Honor. Sorry, Your Honor.
For people's first courtroom experiences,
I got fired mid-trial.
You probably need a more experienced attorney to be with them.
Defendant went and sat in the back and just watched the proceedings. It ends up being a Brady violation because Bloom runs into the court, has a giant outburst like, I have pictures. Meanwhile, it's like the court case is about wrapping up and the guy's about to be found guilty.
I'm happy with the catch. Yeah, I'm happy story.
So Steele throws it out because of the Brady violation, and then the whole court, like all the people who worked in the court, came by and they were like, "Please don't quit. It wasn't that bad. Please stick around." And I was like, I wasn't gonna quit, guys. He's right. I absolutely wasn't fucking ready.
What's up, buddy people?
Hello.
Morning.
Morning.
So, Liz, I thought you died.
I was in a coma.
Almost did.
Oh my god.
Well, Liz,
You guys
did
been
you get
having
your
a
bar
good
card?
night?
Absolutely.
I asked.
Oh, yeah.
I asked him about that, and he said that he needs to talk with Sparks before gives that back.
Damn.
Because apparently there was a failure to appear when I was in a coma. So.
Nice. Would you have 20 cases and just not show up because you were dying?
I think I had like 3 cases, but yeah, there only one of them, from what I remember, was actually scheduled, and yeah, what's called? I don't think I made that case, as Ricky shot me 4 times in the back.
Are you okay? I'm talking to you. I'm fine. Okay. Alright, I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean that tracks. Whatever happened with the Ricky thing? Because I got publicly fired from the DA's office, like right on this very couch, and
That's funny.
I just fucking got the first plane ticket back home and was like, "Fuck this shit." I don't fire me, fine. Even if it's for a stupid fucking reason, whatever. To do it publicly, I was like, nah, fuck you guys. You don't respect me. Let's go practice law somewhere.
I mean, I think it's the DA's office in that instance, right? Unless it was the judges that did so.
It was Attorney General Gordo.
Oh, well.
And it was because I cooked fish in the kitchen of the 3rd floor of fucking the police across the street when the DA's office was on the 3rd floor there. I don't know if they still are.
Well, you know, it's never that's never the reason. It's because you did something to piss him off in some form and he didn't like that.
Supposedly he thinks I lied about the John Law stuff when I slipped and fell. He thinks I lied about tackling him. Yeah, I ran into City Hall, nice, fresh, polished floors, had my Oxfords on, was gonna give him a piece of my mind, and then slipped and fell.
Yeah, this is something I've been
cracked his head on the nice, shiny floor.
Understanding a bit better.
Ouch. Yeah, that would fuck.
Yeah, somehow. So it was felony assault and aggravated battery, because it happened here.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, almost like that.
Aggravated battery.
Yeah, there you go. So it was aggravated battery, and
just jealous of my seat, aren't you?
Fine,
you can have it.
My whole argument was intent. I didn't intend to tackle him, so it can't be because that's an intent law, and they somehow ruled that it was, and there were HIPAA violations, no opening. They said there would be no closing, and then let us have one anyways. It was a fucking clown court.
You're fine.
Well, I think asking for a bench trial was probably the mistake in the situation, but I also understand it took forever to actually have a trial.
Yeah, so my options were to have a bench trial and possibly lose, or, schedule a trial and have it take 3 weeks, and in the meantime, I can't practice anyways. So it took less time for the appeal. I think it was like 10 days or 11 days.
I remember I just asked Graves to pardon you. He said that you turned that down.
Hey, you know what? I won the appeal, so I made the right decision.
All right, where the hell they go? On the side. All right, later, y'all.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
And that reminded me of Bill's statue.
It's like I was trying to find the person.
Is there a good way to teach? Hey, Merit Pause, good to see you. Someone's been here for a while, I think.
Dab on him.
Did you just dab on him?
Is there a good way to teach people how to work under pressure? I'm not sure if that's a super teachable skill.
Really, it's kind of like having to do it on the job. You just, once you start working on the job and doing it. But see, even after I get my bar, so I've got to go on as a DA junior assistant, and all we can do is, actually sit and listen. And, yeah.
Yeah, with all the stuff?
Which is fine. Like,
yeah, I know you must be swamped up with the new opening and all that.
At the end of the day, I've just got to pick up those objections.
So all
I know my
but
statute of
hopefully,
limitations, I know my bolos, I know
hopefully
my
there's more freedom for
peers,
you to do stuff art-wise as well. I was hearing that there was
exigent circumstances,
a lot of stuff that had been restricted before.
I just need to learn how to when to object and when not to object.
Yeah, just brush up on like
that's
what
funny.
the objections are.
But I remember there used to be the homeless king way back when.
Got to that part of the test, I used to give Liz crap because he would just kind of skip that part of the test, and it's really fun to listen to that part of the test, but having to like actually give that part of the test kind of sucks, and I hate it.
Forever.
It wastes a lot of time, so I stopped doing it when I started giving the bar as well. Even though I gave Liz so much shit for skipping those questions.
You did. There was a good reason why.
Well, what gets me is you have like a lot of. I don't actually, probably not now. Like now, you've got a lot of good lawyers.
I know you said that
But in the
you'd
past,
play
you
here and
have
there.
lawyers that would just object to anything.
Did ever meet you in the city?
And half the time, the judges would just let it go. So it has, like it's gotten a lot better now. I will admit, it has gotten a lot better.
Oh, okay. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in college, even though I didn't go for law, kind of, I went for like something law adjacent, but I had an internship at a courthouse, and boy, let me tell
There's
you,
been too
in
many
other
one-off interactions. I don't think I'd be able to pick you up, but interesting.
You don't hear very many objections at all because everybody already knows the game. They already know what is going to be objected to and not, and so it's not even a question that gets brought up in the first place.
Yep.
It's your goal? It's a strange goal.
That was.
Yeah, so
I wish I paid
Never
more
this time now.
attention then.
My goal is to prove that life
I've sat in on
is
murder
sacred.
trials, drug trafficking trials, all kinds of crazy shit.
It can be, right?
So my biggest problem at the moment is because
I love you shopping.
I'm around this time. There's no actual trials happening, so it made it hard to actually be a part of those kind of trials.
Oh, we could try getting some like mock trials set up, but I'm not sure if there's any other people who are looking to learn at the moment.
Yeah. People are actually, what they should start is doing mock trials.
Oh, we had been. Robert had been doing a really good job of having this set up as well. But
I'd be okay with approving that. Yeah.
Yeah. That would actually be very helpful.
The biggest issue with mock trials is that
She
they
judge.
take so very long. Because
I did not know.
It's teaching at the same time, so it takes a lot longer than the trial.
Granted,
People kind of get checked out of it.
I don't think
for a
anything
while,
was.
towards the
Oh,
end,
because it
but
wasn't.
it's
Someone
actually,
put it in
like,
storage. That's probably what happened, right?
extremely good for just like getting your feet wet and figuring out how.
Yeah, the person's like, "Oh, this is a cool clipboard."
Yeah, well, at least at the
I
end
mean,
of the
just
day,
not follow this
people that
RP.
actually- people that want to listen
thing.
and learn from it, they can learn from it because you have somebody there that's able to explain. Okay, this is why.
In
This is an
practice, it sounds like a
objection
cool
to-
idea, and it is a
for
cool
this
idea.
reason.
But expecting people to actually role play,
Listen
sometimes
to-
that's.
listen to what he's saying. Listen to this part. This is what you should pick out for an objection. This is where it starts to turn into a leading question. This is when it starts to turn into a compound.
Figured as much.
When so many questions have been asked. Like, yeah.
I mean, even for me, when I'm sitting in like the peanut gallery and just listening to a court case, it gets pretty easy to just kind of check out after not very long.
Yeah, that's true.
I think actually being part of a court case allows you, or at least for me, allows me to focus a lot more on it.
Hell yeah.
This is a bloody interesting court case.
It's hard.
Yeah, so usually, in my experience with the mock trials, because I had gone through quite a few of them, I never ran them.
Yeah, I expected
anything,
that it
but
just ended up in storage.
the-
Or like somebody found it. I'm like,
people
oh, okay.
who were
That
actually,
means it's
like, the
either going to have a
defendant
link
and
within the next couple days,
prosecutor and
or nothing at all.
sometimes
It's going to be
even
in
the
a
witnesses, they're
storage.
also lawyers. They get a lot from it, but any lawyers who are just watching get almost nothing.
It does if people
Yeah.
want to, like follow, hints,
Isn't that the whole point
clues, and
of
all that.
trials,
But
to
that's
actually teach people that are wanting to learn.
that's kind of a rare for
So
people to.
if you have just regular
follow that
lawyers
kind of roleplay.
watching, well then it's not really for them. It's just for the people that are actually wanting to improve
It's like
themselves.
what do you call that? That's like a
Well,
special
when
kind
I
of
say
roleplay. I would
lawyers,
say.
I mean like the paralegals watching.
Ah,
So our mock
Then-
trials were always paralegals on all fields except judges. Judges were usually like the head lawyers, or sometimes we got actual judges.
I mean, you would expect a grinder would be the one finding it though, right? Because it was a
paralegals
case that
who
a random
didn't
chance to
really
find
know
it
their
whenever
stuff,
they were
if they came
grinding,
and
right?
watched a mock trial,
That's
they
also
would
one
get
problem with that.
checked out, it would take too long, and they
A
would
lot
get
of stuff,
bored and leave,
a lot of
and
cool
then
stuff.
we'd never see them again.
Oh, I'm not super happy with this, but there's a lot in the city that's made to what do you call that? For profession wise,
almost
that
makes me think that
encourages
looking
grinding.
Back, it would have been better if like they weren't open to the public.
Yeah,
or if
then encourages
only the
grinding,
people
which I feel is a
involved
little
could
bit
do it.
anti-roleplay. But it's also hard to
I'd say, like, you know,
distribute resources
like,
without
have
some
it as a special training program for people that
some
are
manner of
trying to get their bar or wanting to learn more. Don't have it open to the public. Just have it for the.
There's no
general
easy
people that
solution to
want
it,
to
but-
actually be there to learn.
Well, it's because humans are it's so rare for
Yeah, like I said,
humans to.
the paralegals who want to learn but aren't like
I know for
actually part of the defense or
RuneScape,
prosecution, and so they're sitting there.
the one thing
watching
people
it.
hated
I think
most
it does more
was
harm for
training
them
two
to
skills at the
watch
same
it,
time. They hated that.
because they lose interest.
It's so
Like, if
they hated
had,
that so
like,
much.
maximum
People,
interest or something,
humans, I
it'd be
would
fine,
say,
but that's
they're
not really
kind
how
of
that
built
works.
to specialize.
They
And
just don't
that's
get that
kind of how
level
human society as well has been built, right?
But it's like even
In that, like, so I would say, you know, you have a specialty, right? And being able to do, like, you said, 3D art objects, right? That's your specialty. Now, would you be able to also do 2D
Yeah,
art?
well,
You probably could,
yeah.
but maybe not to the
He
same
even said,
degree as you
like,
could for 3D
he
art,
even
right?
said he hates being on the defending side. Absolutely hates it.
But combining the
it's
two,
too
like
much-
doing the
too
two at the
much.
same time,
He said he loves
that's
being
when you're
the
like, oh,
prosecutor.
I'd rather just
It's so
do, you
much
know,
easier.
one or the other, which is the same way when it comes to grinding, right?
Well, that's because.
Would you rather roleplay or would you rather grind?
So
Gotta
when
definitely
you're
gotta pick
a
one.
DA, you're working with the police, and the police,
Hmm.
from having to be witnesses all the time.
Oh my
have-
god, I'm
Jesus,
sorry.
again? Wow.
Gonna cry.
Sorry.
Because they've done it so much.
I
like,
do
the
think
cops,
I just go.
grinding can be
they're
a
holding
good,
their hand.
like,
That's okay. Okay.
turn off your brain and
Believe
just
me,
want to,
that's what
like,
we do.
feel productive for a bit. But
Like a DA can ask pretty basic questions and get what they want out of a cop.
I'd have to really think
Yeah.
about it if there was some sort of system
I
that
can't
could.
believe my blood and guts are still there. That's
put
like
in place
fucking
that would-
concerning. Anyway, yeah, no, yeah, that's
Okay.
true. That is very true.
Law tools, interesting. Maybe a new docket that's not in, that's not Discord.
I kind
That'd
of
be kinda
don't
nice.
like that. I don't know if they still do this. But for a while, they were making it so cops didn't have to have DAs, which then turned it into, well, now they're just giving narrative testimony, and that's way too fucking easy.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
don't
yeah.
they like? Oh, sorry, go on.
Having
was
to
like,
do
yeah,
stuff like
the,
out of character felt very. I don't like
Cop
it.
says it happened this way, and he gives you a.
Well, I
ABC,
guess it's not out of character
XYZ on
technically, but I
how it
want to be able
happened this
to.
way. Like, what is the fucking defense gonna do in that case? You have no argument to make.
Like
It's not
have,
like you can object during
like a
the
list
fucking
doing it
hearing.
within the city, ideally.
My biggest
Because
problem.
otherwise,
is
it's
that,
like I'm
okay,
doing it rather than Liz, right?
the arresting person that is also prosecuting will have bias. You know, and bias leads to, even though they may have truthful facts and, you know, all like that, bias isn't always, you know, a good thing to present in court. Like we watched, how long ago? It was about a week ago. There was 3 police officers that wanted to defend themselves. That said, you know, we don't want DA involved. We want to do this ourselves because we have bars.
Yeah, I
They screamed and kicked and said BS and, you know, carried on and said, just did everything under the sun to try and get this
I haven't
person.
been
guilty.
super
I think it was
around
his name. It was,
well, as a so I don't know
big guy that
exactly what
always
the
drives a
atmosphere is,
taxi,
but
wears
it's
yellow all the time.
probably the same as normal, and that it's not in the best situation.
Abdul, yeah.
So I'm guessing people are
Abdul.
burned out. Yeah, I'm guessing
Like
that.
one of my fucking business rivals.
I'm guessing that.
What about a business, please?
Wait,
Well, he shouldn't be out of business. He doesn't even have a
can't-
driver's license.
there we go.
You
I don't
know,
how the fuck he gets
go
away
go
with it.
check
I'm sorry.
check to see who took it.
Uh,
Go ahead, get on your little MDT. Check to see who took Abdul's driver's license.
it probably as well that what is it? Got distracted.
Once he got it back in the meeting.
Having like more accessibility, or like the maybe ease access is the right term. Like being able to do stuff easier definitely makes stuff flow a lot better. And Like, what's a good example of that probably would be like, let's use ChatGPT as an example. There already was like AI beforehand. It was just ChatGPT now made it open to the public, right? Or made it accessible, I should say, to the public, and it like a very like easy format for them to get to.
There's like $100,000 worth of tickets there.
And because of that, it exploded pretty fast, right?
Yeah, so I'm James Wagon. That's one of the few things I ever.
So being able to have, what do you call that? Is it called the gate of entry or something gate?
Everyone starts giving an evil grin.
Yeah.
Oh, barrier of entry. Barrier of entry. Being able to lower that for a lot of stuff is very helpful for encouraging stuff too.
Oh, we can
The flow smoother.
take assets now.
Oh, okay.
You have so many parking tickets.
Actually, that might be.
Use to pay them. But we'll stop taking our assets to pay for them.
Parking ticket version help people.
Give us your assets.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Yeah.
That's some form of structure in that form.
You just go to vehicles and seize them.
It's an idea.
Oh yeah. $500 ticket.
Yeah.
I could see that. Maybe even having like a.
Real quick.
Dude, is this your new taxi?
I've been feeling like we've been having
Taxi is actually a rental.
people have been too broad with their specialties,
That's sad.
or not with specialties, but like there hasn't been specialties in the sense of
Fancy clothes? They're ours now.
lawyers. Almost always they specialize in something, and we haven't really been doing that.
That's wrong.
Or at least I haven't been choosing to them. We haven't had things set up in such a way that encourages that.
I think
But
it's
maybe
crazy.
still driving people around.
But I'm sure that there's lawyers who would also specialize in, teaching other lawyers as well, right? Even.
He has a license.
I kind of tried doing that with like the mentor thing, by having people encouraging that.
Does
It. I'm not sure how well it works, but let's see.
I don't know why
Oh, yeah.
places are letting him pull it out.
I was gonna say.
What would be a good way to set that up? I'm thinking about that.
Pretty sure it was
Could be
always
some
like, you know, you
corruption
had
going
to-
on. Maybe they're doing underhand deals.
Can you imagine if
Ooh.
this
What would be a
state
good way
was
to
like
set that
other jurisdictions where they had like the police actually had a Hackney unit and cab drivers had to get their Hackney license?
I mean, there
before
could be
they
like some
cab
kind of like
driver?
sort of like school type thing.
Those things are
But I
not
think that
cheap.
Morgan Luna tried doing something similar, and I'm not sure what amount of success that actually had. And then, if there's a school, there has to be a curriculum in some form, and there has to.
So I'll give you a funny little story. I
It's
used
a-
to be a public bus driver, and one of my coworkers, before he became a bus driver,
It's hard because I don't really know what people want, but maybe that's like the wrong way of looking at it. Maybe I should just be like, people don't know what they want, and so I'm just gonna do it. Maybe that's the way I need to be looking at
they
it.
made them take it in pencil, and they handed it in, and he got
Thank you.
told later he went in with like a crazy fucking flu. He was sick as a dog. He was dying, but he was like practicing for weeks to try to get that, and he knew the test inside and out, and he goes and he takes it and he's like, oh.
So a lot of it depends on how willing I feel we are to let people make mistakes. Like if somebody doesn't have a lot of experience and they fuck up a bench trial, I don't think they're like, all right, it's time to get rid of their bar. Like that's probably not a reasonable thing to do. But that has been what's done with lawyers who like are at their first trial getting charged with like corruption charges.
Yeah, and he was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. He's like, I fucking aced this test. I know I did, and you can see clearly.
Granted, there
where I
probably
had
should
to
be
put it.
some level of handholding for people's first trial.
Cop's like, yeah, well, maybe. He's like, well, let me
I'd really
just
like
ask
that.
you some of the
I was trying to do that as a
And again, he aces it verbally.
the PDO had, but that didn't.
Dog, I'm not gonna lie. There is nothing I can do for you.
I don't know. It's
The person who gave you this test, I'm not gonna say why, but
people are just so
they were
unaccepting of
changing
it feels like at least
fucking answers
of people making mistakes. But I'm.
kosher reasons. And nothing ever came from it. Nothing ever came from it. That cop didn't get in any trouble. That guy never got his fucking hacking license. It was crazy.
Wow. Yeah, right.
But I'm not sure if that's still the issue, because I do remember that was a very big issue. People were worried about just getting fired for this and that.
That's... Yeah, okay.
Like I said,
maybe I'm thinking about it wrong.
reasons
I'm wondering about, okay, what would people want? I think maybe I just
that person
need to set the standard,
did that to a lot
honestly.
of people.
Maybe that's a good way of thinking on things. Because honestly,
It
I've been
wasn't not kosher in the way you would think.
I've been my mental has not been good recently, not at all. And I'm starting to get a little bit what would be the term for that?
Well, fair enough.
Like the reason for it, yeah, it's exactly what you're thinking. But the party A
I've been
and
what would be the
party
term
B
for that?
are not what you would think.
I've always been like worrying about like how people are thinking or not thinking, but what might be helpful to them or whatever or whatnot. But I think to some degree I just need to say,
like, oh my god, of course that's gonna open it up for fucking shenanigans.
some degree to say fuck it, and I'm doing my own thing.
Exactly right. Everything's always taken in pen now.
And if people think it has value, then they can follow in that. But
I'm
kind of tired of.
Finalized.
Yeah, I don't think this was all that long ago. Like that, you know, it would be the Stone Age that they would use pencil.
I'm kind of tired. Let's go by saying it. Maybe tired is not the right word.
Like
my mental has been
definitely
anything
this
but tired.
millennium, I would
Like, I can't stop thinking. That's one of the reasons I decided to roleplay this, because I couldn't stop thinking like fucking maybe roleplay helpful that or something. I don't know. I mean, that and I said I'd try
Somebody who
or try to
drove
try
for
at
a
least.
living, I noticed like way back in the day, cabs, they used to be like the maniacs of the road. They would drive like absolute fucking morons to get everywhere as fast as possible. And then somewhere along the way, it like inversed itself.
Step up from Mount Court.
Now the cab people can't drive because they're too
Oh.
afraid to drive. And they drive slow everywhere and don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
I mean, we
right.
could.
I
That's
think it has a lot to do with like Uber and Lyft and stuff.
so. I usually
Now
try to push
taxis
people
are looked
into
at
situations
like
that
a
they're not
more
comfortable. That's
professional option.
maybe
so
that's
they
bad,
drive
but
a lot
I feel
slower
that
and
that's
not
a
as
good.
much like let me get to the next.
Can this
area as
person
fast
swim or
as
not?
possible.
And let's just push them in and see what happens. So,
Oh, because
and I'm a firm believer of
they
that kind of
charge
strategy.
by the kilometer and by the time, not just by the mile and the time, don't they?
It depends on where you live and what kind of machinery.
But
like
from
time, like I also used to be a cab dispatcher a million years ago, and I wasn't.
I don't know.
really
I've been feeling like very.
time.
I'm feeling very
didn't take
different
effect at all.
recently. That's for sure.
Starbucks or not
But and so I kind of just want to.
Yeah, I don't remember, but time didn't matter. It was just the miles. I think I was in between high school and college when I had that job.
Not even do my own thing isn't the correct term for it.
Worked
I want
under
to.
the table for $5 an hour.
I want to create
Wasn't
something.
on any government list or
I'm kind of tired of
anything. And my primary job as a high school kid was to make
trying
sure
to patch up the mistakes or fix the holes here and there.
sitting
I'd much
in the
rather
parking lot
create
in the
something.
back, shooting heroin in their cab. It was not a job I was prepared to have to do. That was when like
fair
the
enough.
Nextels were out with the fucking chirp, so we were using them
Like I made a pretty I made a pretty shitty edgy poem today. I was happy with it though.
I'll never forget that job. I worked 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in that job, which explains my degenerative hours still to this day. And my primary job was to just not fall asleep. Besides, you know, making sure they weren't shooting heroin, but just don't fall asleep. Right around this time, maybe like 2 hours ago, would be when like a big influx of calls would start coming in for all the pilots and all the flight stewardess who were going to the airport.
Tell me
Like,
about it.
what was a good term? I kind of. So I've always had lists like this be pushed in various directions,
Oh shit!
but I kind of want to
And Alex. And
pick
Jamie.
a direction, and I kind of want to.
want? The fuck you want?
I want to be a millionaire.
I need dreams.
Did you work at a job where you had to
What would be the term for that?
deal with people going to the airport? in the
Decide
morning?
where my own path to some degree.
Me? No.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I run an airport business.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
Yeah, I deal with that all day.
Me.
Speaking of such, what the fuck do you want?
I just wanted to say
Like
hi.
recently
I'm right
as
here.
well, I actually signed up to
I know you're right,
volunteer.
you dumbass.
Oh, shy.
Something called the crisis text line. You know where that's it's basically where
Wrong number apparently.
what's called people who are
Really?
struggling with like anxiety or thoughts of like self-harm. You're helping those kind of people.
Very
So like,
sassy.
okay, you know that sounds. My therapist had actually recommended me. I'm like, you know, that sounds like something worthwhile. That's something I want to try.
If you leave all that stuff
And so
there, I
I'm
guarantee
be doing
that
training for that on
I'm gonna
the
put it in the back pocket.
15th, I believe.
It's still
It'll be like I have to do like 200 hours training, and then it'll be
That's not here.
ideally I'll be able to.
Wait,
Leave
they
it out,
actually do
'cause-
that sometimes?
Yeah.
Ideally, I'll be able to help people.
Sometimes too lazy.
Like as much as I helping people in our piece, great, you know,
Alex's,
and
like, number up on the walls everywhere, so you know,
that
cool
can
reception.
get a little bit tiring. Helping people with you know their problems in real life can
remember
also be
Liz
nice.
Had his phone number on a flyer on the wall for months and months and months on end, saying he was looking for paralegals. And even when he was no longer PDO head, even when he was no longer in Saba, he still had his fucking flyers up there.
I actually
don't know if he ever got calls.
so I actually put my old number before the tsunami came up there for a while for a couple months, and so I wasn't getting any calls, and I was wondering like why am I not getting any calls, but I changed it, and so it has my number now. Or I don't think it's still there though. But yeah,
You're the reason why we couldn't get new paralegals.
possibly.
You were giving them the wrong phone number.
Who's this Alex person? I need to call him.
See, it's getting pretty late though. I think I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. See
I
ya.
think I'm not
That was
long
good.
for this world either, but I'll stick around.
Let me just go in the office there.
I was just waking up.
I want to be able to rant for a bit. What's it called? I don't know. Things have been quite rough recently. I'm not super used to it. I'm used to being more emotionally stable, more centered. But oh, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your boss. I don't know. I mean, there were times where I would just be like this crippling loneliness. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I have friends I could reach out to them, but is that? I don't want to burden them with this shit either. And I'm like, I could like roleplay and like interact with people, and I'm like, there's so much that comes along with that though, and bringing there's. Just can't stop thinking sometimes. But let's see what's I decided, you know, maybe I can just at least with the launch of Unscripted, maybe things can, maybe this is a good point to be called that. Maybe this is a good point to start something or something, because I just want to do anything just on nothing, right? Yeah, so I've been struggling pretty bad. Probably the worst I have in years and years. And I don't necessarily even know why. It's kind of strange. Like, I was really worried yesterday, actually. I was so worried that I wouldn't have fun with roleplay. Because stuff that I used to have fun with wasn't, like, fun anymore. It was, I'm like, how do I have fun again? It's like, but, like, I'm like, what if even roleplay wasn't fun anymore? And so I was so worried about that. And, I think there was like parts of it that were fun. Lots of new chances. It's not exactly that I'm looking for a new chance. It's I don't know if I'm looking for something at all. How do you want things? It's a good way of thinking. How do you want things, right? I don't really know how to do that. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do, and then it doesn't work out. But sometimes I do. Like it'd be nice to have like, it'd be pretty nice to have like someone I could like count on to be there, like if I ever like really needed it, or like that would be the term for that. I kind of want like I don't know, like I'd really like to like be there for somebody and have them be able to be there for me in return, but I feel like I haven't really found that with anybody. And people or friends who I've thought I could count on when it's hard were not there, basically. Make a new character? It's an idea. I mean, I maybe consider some class fallacy or whatever, but the what's it called? The idea of having to start from the beginning in some form feels kind of strange. Like there's been so much in the way of relationships that Lis has built up throughout roleplay, right? That there'll be times when there's so many times when I don't know the person and they're like, "Oh, Lis, it's good to see you again," and I'm like, "Oh, well, thank you," and I don't know the person whatsoever, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's." But I'm like, if I've managed to have an impact on them, I'm happy, you know, even if I don't. I kind of understand what you're saying. Like usually, I see what you're saying. Like I know that's the case for what's called. Generally, I hear that story all the time for like relationships and whatnot. You know, people who are looking for a relationship, they always like as soon as they stop looking, that's whenever they end up in one, something like that. And generally, I do feel like it's probably the case that I'm blind to something that's in front of me. I can't really feel my way around it. But I am trying out something new, and that is that I want to stop like holding back to some degree, in the sense of like if I feel like I'm like, you know, is that okay to say, or am I worried about like how others might see me if I say something like that, or like or am I embarrassed to say this word? I'm just gonna like say the fucking thing, and that just felt very liberating in a lot of forms. There's been some very negative things that have come along with it, but I've realized, you know, I can still survive those things, which is good. Sleep? I don't know. I know just for yesterday, I was just, for hours, I was just laying down there and I couldn't stop thinking. I was spiraling pretty badly. I was spiraling really badly, actually. I was probably having something, I was probably having a crisis yesterday. But, and so I've been trying to distract myself because I can feel myself very, like, lack of sleep. For me, I won't be able to sleep. I'll just be like laying down there and thoughts will just keep going and going and I can't stop thinking and I'll try to sleep and it just isn't there. I haven't really been struggling with like lack of sleep or anything like that. That's like usually I would maybe not usually, but like I haven't really felt tired recently, which is kind of crazy to me. It's not like normally I have some level of like tiredness whenever I'm just like awake at all. But recently I haven't like felt motivated to do anything, but I haven't felt tired either. It's just I've just felt like nothing at all sadly a lot of times, or horrible depression. But I don't know. Things are I just want to stop thinking sometimes. That's it. But sure, let me try and get some sleep or something, I guess. Thank you for being here, Murder Boss. I appreciate you. I really do. And I was also, there's one other thing. I was considering whether or not maybe I should start having like a face cam here and there. I was realizing that I'm actually a fairly expressive person. I don't really show, there's not really like I don't really show that to other people too often though. And so maybe that would be something that, I don't know, I'd be able to like be more authentic in some form or something like that if it's not something I've been considering as well, maybe. Not like all the time, but it's something like what, I don't know, maybe like what Panda does like in the beginning of the stream or something, or I don't know, but it's an idea. I'll think about it. All right. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking around. I appreciate you. I really do. And remember, life is sacred. I'll try to branch out. Good night.